How's it going, guys? Julian Bradley here. I want to welcome you to themusical.com. So in this short video, I'm going to introduce you to the course, show you how it works. I'm also going to show you the navigation around the website. Now, these lessons are designed to be watched in order. They're step by step, which means you can't skip steps, otherwise they won't make sense. So for best results, I recommend you restrict yourself to 3 videos a week. And before advancing to the next lesson, make sure you do the homework assignment and some of the recommended listening. So let's take a look at a lesson. Here's the pentatonic shape. Okay, so to start with, you'll watch the video. Now, once you've finished the video, you can scroll down to the bottom of the page and you'll find lesson notes. Then if you click on homework, you'll find homework assignments for many of the lessons. And then finally, if you click on recommended listening, so these are all songs which demonstrate the concepts covered in the video above. So it's a good idea to listen to some of these straight after the lesson while everything's fresh in your memory. And all of these recommended listening are ideal level for you to practice playing by ear. Okay, so let's go through a course overview so that you know what to expect in the course. So in lessons 1 through 15, I discussed diatonic music, which is music which stays within the notes of the key. This is the major and the minor scale. And about 90% of music does stay within the notes of the key. And then in lessons 16 onwards, I'll discuss additional sounds, which are techniques which come out of key. Okay, lessons 1 and 2, I discuss how to practice transcribing songs the right way. Then in lessons 3 and 4, I discuss intervals. I show you how to recognize intervals by ear. Now, these 2 lessons are probably the most challenging lessons in the entire course, but I don't want you to be intimidated by these. I just had to cover them early because they'll be used throughout the course. And really, I just want you to get in the habit of singing intervals. And over time, as you watch the rest of the course, there'll be plenty of reinforcement of these intervals. Okay, so lessons 5 and 6, we take a look at the key. This is the 7-note scale which Western music is written in. And I'll show you the relationship between the major and the minor scale, and that they're really the same 7 notes. And then lessons 7 through 9 are perhaps my favourite lessons in the entire course, where I show you a range of methods to identify notes in a melody. So intervals are all great, but at some point you actually have to identify a note within the key, because otherwise you're just left with a load of intervals floating in space. So lessons 7 through 9, I show you a range of techniques to place that melody and find out where it fits within the 7-note scale. Okay, lessons 10 through 14, we switch our focus to chords. And these lessons just start out simple and they get progressively more advanced. Now, lesson 15, I give a complete course summary where I give a quick overview of each of the 14 lessons, and I also test you and see if you can remember each concept in the course. Now, looking at the 15 videos, there are 2 which really stand out, and that is lesson 8, which is the pentatonic shape, and also lesson 11, which is the 4 pop chords. And really, a lot of playing music by ear is these 2 lessons, learning to identify the pentatonic shape in a melody and learning to identify the 4 pop chords in the chord progression. Now, lessons 16 onwards I'll be adding over the next few months. So these techniques will include the tierce de Picardy, parallel major and minor scales. I'll discuss the modes, so the Phrygian, the Dorian, Lydian, Mixolydian, and so on. I'll look at characteristics of blues music, including the blue note and the 12-bar blues chord progression. We'll look at the harmonic minor scale, and I'll show you some common modulations, key changes which occur. And you can also email me your requests. If there's a video that's missing that you'd like made, then I'm open to making new videos and adding them to the course. And one final suggestion before you start the course is that it would be great if you could set yourself a goal so that you can have something in your mind to work towards as you're watching the course. So here are 5 goals which I've come up with. You can use any one of these or you can come up with your own. So number 1, in 6 months' time, I will have a repertoire of 10 songs which I've transcribed entirely by ear. In 6 months' time, I will have composed an entire piece without the aid of my instrument. So you've written melody, chords, and bass line just using your imagination and your transcribing skills. In 6 months' time, I will have composed 3 jazz tunes, all of which originated from singing a melody in my imagination and not from my instrument. And then you can develop that melody into an arrangement however you like using your instrument. In 12 months' time, I will ask a family member to request 5 random songs for me to play, and without sheet music, I will play a convincing arrangement of each using only my ear. And lastly, in 12 months' time, I will direct a small group of musicians, either 2, 3, or 4 other musicians, and I will communicate what I want each person to play using only my voice. So you'll sing to each person what you want them to play. Okay, guitarist, play A minor, go down to G major. So that sort of thing. I want you to communicate to a small group of musicians, and you can only communicate to them using your voice. So those are 5 possible goals you can choose from. Feel free to come up with your own. Okay, so that's just about everything. Hope you enjoy this course, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.